I pulled out from my stash of thrifted items that I might style with. I have a wild idea. A wild idea that's gonna cause more work. Good morning, guys. We are back to my bedroom makeover. We are in my master bedroom right now, and we're gonna do some pattern drenching today. I've actually just completed this space. I'm about to take the reveal shots, but oh my gosh, guys, it looks so good. I am kind of a neutral girl. I like light and bright, airy interiors, but I've been seeing this trend that I really love. It's called pattern drenching. Have you guys heard of it? So I'm gonna put some pictures, some inspiration pictures that I had for my space. Pretty much it's taking one pattern and drenching the whole room in it. So putting the same floral on different surfaces or the same stripe on different surfaces. So that's what we're gonna do today. It can be kind of expensive because you have to have things like custom made, but I did some DIYs and I'm gonna show you how you guys can do the exact same thing using DIY and Thrifted to achieve a really high-end designer look. So I hope that you guys enjoy. This one was so much fun to put together, and now we get to just enjoy our bedroom. I'm so happy about it. So if you like thrifting and DIY in a good before and after, you're gonna like this video. Also, I cut my hair last night. Can you guys tell? It was the first time I've ever cut my own hair, but I added layers to everything, and I don't know, I think I'm a convert. I don't think I'm gonna have to go to the salon again. Maybe. I'm not someone who likes going, like being strapped into a chair. It feels like you're strapped there, like talking for an hour with this person. I'm a very social person. Like I don't like salons. It's like I'm paying to, I don't know. Anyway, you're gonna see my hair about 4 inches longer through most of these clips and looking pretty rowdy. All right, guys, let's go ahead and dive into this makeover. Before I dive into the things that I want to change, let's give this room some gratitude. First up is these windows. I love that I have windows on either side. You can't see it on that side. Maybe I should just grab the camera here. They make the room so light and bright because in addition to those windows, I also have this patio door that goes out into our garden, and it is extremely nice to be able to see the kids playing out there while I'm like reading or nursing the baby on the bed and everything. I also love this light that I found in the garage when we moved in. The previous owners left it. There's something we're gonna address with that, so that'll also be a problem. You'll probably see it, it's pretty obvious. I also love this dresser here because I found it for free on the side of the road and painted it. It was one of my first like DIY projects when I was getting into things and before I had like a YouTube channel and stuff, but love that because it's nice and solid wood, holds everything. And I also love the saltillo floors over there. I love that they are really organic and beautiful and the pattern and everything, but I don't have any of that color in here, so I would like to bring that in here. I also added, since you guys saw this, I just couldn't resist putting it on, is I just added this bed skirt because I couldn't stand looking under there. I had another one and it ripped. So that is actually the pattern that I am going to put everywhere. I'm gonna drench this room in that pattern. All right, now for some things that I don't love. The router, I don't like seeing this. I mean, I try to cover it with this vase, but I swapped out the larger vase for this one, and yeah, it like doesn't cover it at all because it's smaller. And so yeah, I want to cover that. So like I said, love this hanging lamp. I don't love the Kohler. We're gonna fix that today. It might make some of you all angry. And like I said, I love these windows, but I don't love the curtains that are hanging on them. They actually are like makeshift curtains. They're not even like, they're from IKEA. They're not makeshift curtains, but the way that I hung them, I don't have enough. Like I only had 2 panels because they were from an apartment before this. I'm just reusing them. And so I only have 1 panel for each side. And I don't know, I put the rod the whole way across because I thought it would look silly to have 2 small rods. I think we're gonna change that. I don't know. I just think that we can do 2 rods and curtains there. Curtains also to match the door. I've been wanting to do this forever. So that's the first thing we're gonna do. Dominic's gonna help me with this tonight. I'm gonna show you the curtains though, because I am so obsessed, y'all. It's pattern, I'm going more pattern. I want to thank today's video sponsor, Foreo. Foreo is a brand of beauty devices that bring professional level facial treatments into the comfort of your home. They offer a number of different beauty devices, but today I want to talk to you about the FAQ 202. This is a new generation of silicone facial mask that offers red light therapy. I was very interested to try red light therapy because I have a good friend who swears by it. And when I was excited to see when I did a little deep dive into PubMed was that they were able to see a significant increase in collagen synthesis pre and post red light therapy using ultrasonography. Red light therapy definitely has more to it than you might think. It decreases the appearance of fine lines and wrinkles, as well as decreases pore size, reduces redness and blemishes, and just evens the skin tone. What I love about the Foreo 202 is that I can put it on, press the button in the center, it'll turn on red automatically. I can keep it on for up to 15 minutes, going about my day doing dishes, relaxing, whatever it might be. Or I can open up their app, and I really like the quick 5-minute refresh. In addition to the quick 5-minute refresh, I really like that this device offers a full 8 different wavelengths. Each of these are able to address specific skin concerns. So on the app, you're able to select from a number of treatments that utilize these different wavelengths. Now, I should have taken some before and after pictures because I would have been the perfect candidate, never having used one of these devices before. But what I have noticed is an overall brightening of my skin, as well as a reduction in fine lines and wrinkles. And I know that I am doing something good for my skin, even among my busy day. Foreo rarely ever has discounts or sales, but if you use the link down in my description as well as the code GARBY30, you can get 30% off of your order. And thank you so much, Foreo, for sponsoring today's video. So I've been wanting to try these curtains for a while now, and these are 2-page curtains. They recently came out with patterned curtains that they're working with different designers, like a lot of social media content creators. So I chose this pattern. I've already opened it because I was so excited I couldn't resist, but I haven't hung it up on the wall yet. So I am gonna do that tonight with Dominic's gonna help me. These are their linen curtains. They're light filtering. I didn't want the blackout because we have blackout blinds, but I think these are gonna make a huge difference. We need to change the curtain rods and then change that one. So I ordered stuff and I hope it's all the right stuff. Open it, pop. Nice. This is the weirdest but coolest little toy. I know we say it all the time that home takes time, and home also takes mistakes. Just trying stuff and seeing if it works, and being unafraid to try something different, even if it adds an extra hole to your drywall. So that's what this curtain rod was. It looks so much better. I can't wait for you guys to see it. All right, I got the rods and the old curtains and the brackets and everything down. I'm gonna put up new brackets just because I want them spaced differently and everything, just like slightly. But I'm gonna show you my trick for hanging the brackets, like making sure that they're perfect every time and not measuring. I have a template somewhere. I wouldn't have thrown it away, but I've been using it for all of our windows, so it's the exact same. And it was made out of a Cheerio box, but I couldn't find it. I don't know where it went, so made a new one out of a diaper box. All right, I had to really think through this one because it's been a while since I made the template, but this is super helpful if you don't have one of these. Highly recommend doing this if you have like a lot of curtains to put up. Line the top edge of this template up with the ceiling, and then the side edge is going to be lined up with the side of the window here. And then I want my curtains 6 inches out, the bracket 6 inches out, and 3 inches from the ceiling. I draw a line, an arrow, from this corner so that I know when I line up this dot on this side of the window, I need to go into that one. And then when I line this dot up on this side of the window, I need to go to this, so that both are 6 inches away from the sides of the window. I hope that helps, but that really helps me. If you use this template technique, make sure you use your specific bracket. So mine has 2 holes in it. I think probably most of them have 2 holes in it. And you're gonna want to trace that onto the template and make holes for each one. I went in and patched up these holes so that it was time to paint. Nothing like painting your walls with salsa. No, my sweet mom, she's amazing. She wrote on here, alabaster wall paint with the correct sheen. So thank you, Mom, because now I know this is the exact one that I need for the walls, and it was sealed really well in the salsa container. So I just had to mix it up really well, but I'm going to cover up the patchwork that I did earlier, and then Dominic is working on actually attaching the the rods. We found that drywall anchors just don't work so well with kids who like to play like hide and seek behind curtains, and so we found the better technique is to drill into the concrete wall like behind them. But it's always this process because you have to make the holes on the brackets, the metal brackets, larger. So he took them to the garage to like drill those holes bigger. When we renovated this home, I removed 1970s floral wallpaper from this wall. So it was just bringing back memories while I was painting it. We have all the walls pretty much in the whole house painted alabaster, which I really love. And it kind of leads to that Spanish Mediterranean look that we're going for. So these are the rods that we've used throughout our entire house, and I got them on Amazon. They're like just very simple. In keeping with the theme of our home being like Spanish Mediterranean, I think that these work well because they kind of give like a nod to wrought iron, and I like that it has the full circle here instead of just like a half circle that usually just like looks a little bit more flimsy to me. This looks a little bit more substantial, even though it's just like, I don't know what this is, zinc, powder coated zinc, I think it says, but I'll link them because they are very affordable on Amazon and they've held up, no pun intended, very well. Dominic is the man. I mean, he's always the man, but he's always the man for me when I need to drill into concrete, because this is not an easy task. You really have to use the vacuum to suck out the concrete dust as you do it. And so he did that really well while I got to our next task. So this was actually filmed during the day. That's why it's bright and my kids were helping me. But I wanted to dive into our first DIY, and that is these DIY art prints. So I shared a few weeks ago how I find free art, and I also shared in that video how I made the frames that these are going to go into, which are upholstered frames. But I wanted to show you how I was putting Mod Podge on them to make these prints look more like oil paintings. I will link that video down below so that you have access to those prints as well, because I shared them in a document, and then you can also see how I DIY'd these frames. All right, these are the ones that I'm thinking. I like that there is a variety. So I like that these are each like different subject matter. This one's kind of architectural, and then we've got persons, you know, with Mary and Jesus, and then we have a floral, and I really love this floral because that glass is so gorgeous. And both on the sides are like pretty moody, and then the one on the inside is more just like a sketch. So in the middle is more of a sketch. So I think that's what we're gonna do. So you're going to see what this fabric matches in just a minute, but it's actually, I ordered 2 bed skirts, and then I cut up one of them and wrapped these frames, and I got the idea from Lone Fox, so I'll put his inspiration picture on the screen here. And I just love this DIY. Good morning. We got up one of the curtains last night. All the rods, I put up one of the curtains though. They look so good. Just a little sneak peek. I'm gonna put up the other ones and show you the trick that I just figured out with these to adjust them so that they can be perfectly kissing the floor. This was so smart. I love good design. And 2 Pages has good design. So this is the top of the curtain, and then you slide these hooks in, and then you can further customize it like this. So, well, you can pull it all the way down if you need to restart, and then you just go back in this way. And I think that around like there is perfect for mine. So I just needed to adjust them a little bit. So I like adjusting them actually up on there once I get them up there, just to make sure that they're perfect. But that's such a good design. And these are really nice and like tight in here, so they're not gonna be falling off like the ones that I have in other places. So this is the difference between the curtains that are just a little bit too long here and ones that are perfect. So I'm gonna take this one up a little bit. That way it'll lay nice and flat and won't have this weirdness that's going on. And it blows in the wind really beautifully when it's skimming the floor like that. Like I said, these are the light filtering ones. I just think sheers look so beautiful in a bedroom. And then I also have the blackouts, so I have that for privacy as well. But I wanted to show you that pamphlet there because they also have so many different types of hangers. So I have the pinch pleat, but they also have different types of folds at the top, so you can fully customize these curtains, and they come to you so quickly. So I will leave their link down in the description below. They're so nice. from someone who has made curtains. It's just, these are so nice. They lay like perfectly. They're actually square. Thank you, 2 pages. I'm obsessed with how this is looking. The kids are playing in the backyard with our neighbors, so if you hear them, they're fine. Next up is this, hanging up these 3. So I'm gonna bring in another pattern, and this is the color that I'm going to drench the room in. So I want to put this striped pattern color as well on a pillow, because I have it on the bed skirt, and then I'm gonna have it above the bed, and then I wanna put it on like an accent pillow with the leftover fabric from this skirt that I turned into this. So let's get these hung up and then we'll get started on the pillow. All right, so now I'm adding in another pattern to kind of drench this room in pattern. Something that I have heard, like a little trick, is to use a floral as well as a stripe and then a block print. So a block print is like a repeating floral design. Typically it kind of has an Indian look. So I haven't gotten that yet, but I think that these stripes and floral are really, really good together. I think so. What do you all think? All right, I want to do styling of this dresser. The only thing that has to be here, like nothing actually has to be here besides these routers. And so I had them just hidden behind this vase. But you guys saw me thrift this basket a few weeks ago, and I thought, why not stick them in there? The only problem is that the cords are then like coming out the top of it. I could push it through the wicker, but I would ruin the basket doing so. And I like this basket, so I haven't decided. I might do that, and then possibly, would this be so weird? Like covering it with this. Dominic is gonna be like, you are crazy. He doesn't understand why I have to cover up all of like the ugly things like this, but I do. Now I just need to figure out what else needs to go on this dresser. Oh, and figure out how to cover that a little bit. Done. Honestly, that works. I think that's what we're gonna do. If you are smarter than me, which you probably are, you're probably shaking your head at me stuffing my router inside a basket with like, you know, kindling on top. So I did come to my senses, and I'll show you how I fixed that. Yeah, I really showed it to my parents, and they were like, what are you thinking? So yeah, I realized it. But let's move on to the pillow, because this was actually a lot more simple than I thought it was, and it really has a high-end good look, and you do not have to add a zipper. So this is my first pillow that I haven't added a zipper in, and it is still removable. So this is the bed skirt that I put onto my bed, the other one that I have been cutting up. So what I had though from the frames, reupholstering them, was all of the trim, like the bottom hem. And so I saved that from that project a few weeks ago, and I'm turning that into a ruffle. So I just went up and down on this hem piece, and then I scrunched it up a little bit. As you see, I have these like really long pieces, and then I had this pillow from the Goodwill bins. I had this out during Christmas time, and so I'm going to use the inserts for this project, which I've washed this insert through the wash, so it is nice and clean and everything. But to make the pillowcase with this ruffle hem, all you have to do, it definitely is easier if you have a cover already that you can kind of trace it onto and use the same size. So I laid out my fabric on top of this and then cut one piece to the exact length that I wanted, leaving about 1 inch for the hem around the outside of it. And then for the back piece, it's actually going to be 2 pieces. These 2 pieces together will create a flap. I'm just going to make sure that they are overlapping enough. I overlapped them about 7 inches probably, and each of them I did hem so that it has a nice finished look. I just forgot to record myself doing that little hem right there. But next we're going to pin everything together. So we want to make sure that all of the pieces that are on the inside are what we want to see on the outside. So that little ruffle piece that I created, I'm going to pin all the way around this rectangle along the piece that I
sewed, like the piece that I went up down with, so that the piece that I want to see that's pretty is poking into the pillow. That took my brain a hot minute to figure out. So just remember that everything that is facing in is going to be showing on your pillow once you flip it and reverse it out. And when you get around the corners too, just keep going, because you want that piece to be continuous. You don't want it to stop at the corners. Then I'm going to take this over to my sewing machine, and I just did a straight stitch. Make sure that you go reverse and then forward when you are starting to just lock the thread in, and that way it won't unravel it or anything. And then once I got it all sewn up, I was able to flip it right side out, and it looked so cute, you guys. This was adorable, and it really was a simple sewing project. I mean, if you didn't do the ruffle, this would be like the easiest sewing project out there for beginners. But I do think that the ruffle really took it up a notch, and the fact that it was a factory hem, it was already ironed and pressed, and so it made it look really nice and finished as well. So I hope that you will venture to try this little beginner sewing project, because it was really, really satisfying and really, really cute.
All right, it is my kindergartner spring break, so we've just been like doing a lot of stuff. So I think the last thing that you guys saw was the pillow, and it turned out so, so cute. But I'm gonna dress this next and style this countertop, this dresser, tonight, because it's been like perplexing me, but I think I figured it out. I talked with my mom on FaceTime for a while, and I think we came up with an idea for it. So I'm gonna make some people mad though, because this has had this cord here. This is like a old vintage light. I don't know if I can, yeah, it's vintage. It's not antique or anything. But we found this in the garage when we moved in to this house. And so I wanted to reuse it, and I like the little scallopy detail of it, but I don't like this cord. So I could either cover it, or I could just clip it. One of you all actually suggested that, and I found these on Amazon. They're rechargeable, and then you just like magnetically stick it up there. So it came in a 2-pack. I'll link them down below, because I'm going to use the other one outside. You kind of do have to like line it up, but I'm gonna do something bold and just trim it. I gotta go get some electrical wire cutters. This wire, this cord here is like sticky. It's really gross. Talk about like the largest light bulb ever. What do I do with this? Okay. All right, there we go. I did crack one of these loops. Oh no, I definitely cracked one of the loops, so I'm gonna have to fix that. That was really unfortunate. Like one of these little loops cracked. So, TBD.
Have mentioned, like Gavin Ortland has deserved further exploration, and so it was.
That's really nice.
It was nice.
It looks good. I need to take this little hug out, because I was using this to hold. I need to stop my podcast. But I was using this to hold the wire to the wall, so maybe get some. Oh.
This light has 3 settings. One is nice and warm, one is hospital lighting. So I did the warm one, like we all should.
All right, so this is what we're gonna style next on top of the dresser. And I did take out the router from inside the basket. It was a fire hazard. It looked great, but functionally not a great idea. So I put it there. You can't really see it when you're looking this way. You just can when you are coming in this way, but it's safe. So that's what we gotta do. I put the painting there because it covers up the cords a little bit better, but I'm thinking I need like 2 arrangements here. So I've put onto my bed some of the things that I pulled out from my stash of thrifted items that I might style with. I've got like things like a lamp and some books, things like frames, things that are kind of normal. And I looked at some ideas on Pinterest. The Pinterest pictures that I like the most have stacks of books. So I was kind of messing around with that, and I came up with the idea of having like 2 stacks, and then this would be like the 3rd arrangement.
I know I've shared thrifting trips here on the channel recently, but it feels like I haven't really been thrifting very much. And one of the things that I absolutely love to find thrifted are old coffee table books like this, because I use them all the time. They add just a really nice cozy layer. So if you ever see them when you're thrifting, get them, especially if they offer art, because then you can even cut pieces of art out of them, and it's like a win-win, double thrift win.
All right, so I think I like this, the 2 stacks, this one like a little bit taller, this one shorter, add some variety and everything. I need to put a little frame, a little picture in this frame. I realized how dusty this is. Oh my goodness, y'all. That's all dust in there. Can you see that? This is so gross. So I'm gonna clean this, and then I think I'm gonna put in it one of these prints, and I will have all of these in that document down below if you want any of these. These are just like open access, so I just found them for free online through the museum access. But I think this one would look really nice, kind of bring some orange in to like match these candlestick wood holders, and then also to match like the saltillo tile. So I'm gonna put that in, and then I have a wild idea. A wild idea that's gonna cause more work.
I really like the way that this tiny little frame turned out. I think that it adds just the perfect amount of color while still being like neutral and just adding something to the room. Like I just need a little tiny something cute and cozy. So we're moving on to our last DIY of this video before I share the final reveal that it's so good. And I have been wanting to try my hand at this. I've been seeing this on Pinterest. I've been seeing other creators here on YouTube do it, and that is covering a lampshade with fabrics. And so I'm using the rest of the bed skirts that I have been cutting up. And when I mean the rest, I mean really the rest. I barely had any left over. This was like the most that I possibly could have gotten out of this bed skirt. It was worth its investment. So what I did was cut strips, and then I folded those strips over just on one side and ironed them so that each individual strip I could glue on here, and it would have a more polished look than just like folding it on here. But I will say that I didn't line each stripe with the stripe pattern, if that makes sense. So some of them, the stripe is kind of in the middle of that strip that I have, and then some of them it's like towards the end. So I would do that differently next time, but really I don't think I would have been able to, because I had only one strip left. As you guys saw, I used just hot glue to attach it on there, and it turned out really good. And it was very simple once I got all of those pieces ironed. That was like the most tedious part of it. And the reason I didn't take the lampshade off was because it's actually stuck on there. I don't know why. It's an old thrifted lamp that I don't know why it's like stuck on there. But it worked, and that lamp turned out so cute. You will see it in just a minute with the final reveal, but I had just a few more things to do. One of those was moving this art so that it would be centered on the wall. And then I want to keep my bed super simple so that I actually make it, but I wanted to fine tune it just a bit.
All right, so I put on my bedding yesterday, like I just washed it, and I was putting the comforter cover back on, the duvet cover. And before I had the duvet cover on, it was all white, and I just kind of liked that look. And so I pulled out this white duvet cover that I have. It's kind of like an off-white. So I thought I would switch it, even though I like the linen better, like the 100% linen texture of this duvet cover. I want to try the color, and then I'll kind of know, like maybe if I'll get a different duvet cover that is linen for the summer, just to like be able to switch out. So I'm gonna switch it and then style the bed with my new pillow.
All right, so like I mentioned, I keep my bed so simple in terms of styling. I know people probably would be like, oh, you need a throw pillow, or you need like another, I mean, I have one throw pillow, like you need a throw blanket maybe, or you need, I don't know, Euro shams or something. I've tried that, and it just means that we don't make our bed. So one pillow in the center, and then 2 pillows stacked on each side is kind of the sweet spot for us, at least in this season of life. That is the priority with kids and busy schedules and everything, but I don't know, maybe I'll try. I would like some color on this bed. All right guys, I'm about to share the final reveal of this space. I was not expecting. I'm doing so many DIYs, but I'm so glad that I did. I love them. They make the room just really come together, especially that little lamp. So I'm gonna save that for the reveal. You'll see it, the final reveal, how everything just came together. I wanted to let you know that next week I'll be back with another bedroom makeover. If you are interested in, if you like this one, come back for that one. I'm just gonna be doing the planning stage of that. And I think that will be really helpful if you want to see like how I get to this point, because this point took a long time to get to. And so we'll be starting fresh in a new vintage inspired bedroom that I'm working on. I've been collecting some things and I actually found a bed on Facebook Marketplace for it. So that will be coming next. Make sure that you are subscribed so you don't miss that one. Hit the little bell if you want to be notified, but I post new videos every Sunday. And give this video a like if you enjoyed it. That really helps support the channel, and comment down below, even just an emoji. That always also helps support the channel. You guys are the best. All right, let me remind you where we started in this space. And now for how it turned out. I absolutely love how this space has turned out. I wanted to point out just a few things as we go, because there are things that I realized I didn't actually mention. I have matching frames that are thrifted, and I put an oil painting, well, a faux oil painting in that I actually cut in half from open access so that it kind of balances each side. And I think that those darker elements are really what help balance the really bright light interiors that I like, with the white walls and all of the white colors as well. So think about those dark accents that you can add. You just saw the trunk that I got at the Goodwill bins very recently. I got it for 10 bucks, and I think that that trunk really added the nice contrast as well. So I hope that you guys enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one. Have a very blessed week. Bye guys.